AEW recently celebrated outlasting WCW Nitro on TNT. Even the Hollywood Reporter, as you can see, covered it. And all I can say about that is AEW can go another 10 years and still will not have the impact that WCW Nitro has had. It won't have the memorable moments or characters that WCW Nitro had. And so even though you see people bragging about it on the internet, who are AEW fans, of course, it really doesn't matter. Because when you think about just the brand awareness in the mainstream, I mean, people don't know who these AEW wrestlers are, let alone what gimmicks they have or storylines that they have. The way people remember, Goldberg, NWO, Hollywood, Hogan, The Outsiders, Diamond Dallas Page, Chris Jericho. I mean, you can never forget when Jericho appeared out of shape following an NBA game. A lot of people from NBA Twitter recognized who Chris Jericho was, not just from WWE, but his WCW run. And so it's really not a brag. And also, when you think about how long it's lasts, it's only because the TV show standards now, in comparison to the late 90s when WCW Nitro was on, is significantly lower. I mean, the ratings, the type of ratings that the AEW gets now, WCW 2000 had better ratings. They would have been off the air if this was a different day and age. But now we're in the current day and age where less and less people watch television, and thus the networks have generally less standards. And so you don't have to have the ratings that you were expected to have back in the late 90s. And also, another thing to add, just look at AEW's owner. I mean, he actually owns AEW versus the people that were running the TV program of WCW, that being Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff didn't own that. Tony Khan does, well, through his father's bank account. And so that's another reason why AEW continues, because his father is willing to give him an unlimited supply of money. Versus when, WCW went down, Eric Bischoff did get a group together to purchase WCW. But obviously the network didn't want wrestling programming on their network at the time. And so they let WWF, Vince McMahon, they let them purchase WCW at a cheaper price than what Eric Bischoff and the group that he got together were willing to pay for it. And so, again, the narrative is that WCW went down because the quality was so bad, the product quality, that it went out of business, when in reality, it was the people that actually owned the network that didn't want WCW product, even if it meant getting more money from a group that Eric Bischoff headed. But I guess, people who are fanboys for AEW is desperate for any type of victory for their fandom, and so they're willing to celebrate this victory of AEW outlasting WCW Nitro, when in reality it isn't a victory at all, because no one will remember anything AEW does, even if it lasts another 10 years. But everybody, including people outside of the wrestling fan bubble, they will remember WCW Nitro.